Well, the most interesting primary we've had so far was in North Carolina. North Carolina is now known as the Holy Land because Ronald Reagan rose from the dead. Well, he performed an even greater miracle than that. Reagan in this campaign has performed the greatest feat known to man, making Gerald Ford look like a leader. Well, I submitted a campaign song to the president, and I don't know if he'll use it or not, but he'll do it for you right now. Campaign song of our leader. Hey, look me over, what do you see? A Ford in your future and not a Model T. Bind up the wounds now, that is my prayer. What I seek is a veto a week and a pardon here and there. You know I was not elected, this you realize. I was appointed, so what's the big surprise? And doing a favor for a friend who gave the job to me, that's just reciprocity. Well, we've had, what, about 6 primaries or so, and in Florida, Carter got the conservative vote, and Jackson did get the Jewish vote, and Hubert Humphrey carried Walt Disney World. And Milton Schaap, you recall, did not do well because most of the voters thought Milton Schaap to be a bond issue. George Wallace didn't do well in Florida, nor North Carolina. He said, well, after all, Florida, North Carolina are not southern states, and that he yearns to go back to his native Massachusetts. Now, President Ford won the Massachusetts primary, which didn't surprise anybody because he didn't visit there. Then the Illinois primary was described as being a beauty contest with Mayor Daley in the role of Bert Parks, right? Now, since we're in New York State and the New York primary is tomorrow, I thought we'd take another one of our famous polls and find out how the studio audience feels on the Democratic candidates. And now, how many in here right now plan to vote tomorrow for Morris Udall? All right. Now, Udall, along with the others, at this point, they have to broaden their base of power. In other words, none of them can make it with who they have. You see, they have to change their image, their labels. Udall has to start calling himself sort of liberal. See, he's very strong out there in the lily-white liberal middle-class suburbs, but weaker with the blue-collar crowd in town. Now, how to appeal to both groups, I don't know. You have to know how to do the hustle and the polka at the same time. How many in here plan to vote tomorrow for Scoop Jackson? All right, again, Jackson has to change his image. He has to start calling himself the formerly dull. Because he used to be a dull speaker for a while. He once gave a fireside chat, and the fire fell asleep. How many of you plan to vote for Hubert Humphrey? Yes, we need a fresh face. Because everyone's getting sick of Jimmy Carter, that's why. How many plan to vote for Jimmy Carter? Well, this just in. Carter says that after the election, he will have minor surgery to have the smile removed. Little Jimmy Carter has a winning style, sandy hair and crinkly eyes, and a close-up toothpaste smile. Don't know where he came from, causing all the fuss. Says he's not a lawyer, so we'll count that as a plus. I will never tell a lie, said Jimmy, that's the truth. 'Cause every time I tell a fib, I grow another tooth. I'm not part of that old crowd in Washington, D.C. I am just a country boy with great sincerity. When I'm in the White House, when addressing me, Mr. President won't do. Just call me J.C. But Governor Brown, Jerry Brown, is they describe him as being a mystic or an aesthetic and all of that. He's an ex-Jesuit seminarian. Of course, there's no such thing as an ex-Jesuit anything. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And he's also into Buddhism. And yet he still retains his traditional Catholicism. I have known people like that. They are called yoga Catholics. And among other things, they practice making the sign of the cross with their feet.